Hi year ones! So as you know, our topic at the moment is the moon, so I have found some lovely poems to read to you about the moon. Today you will need your whiteboard and pens, or you could use a pencil and paper for this. Don't worry, we're not going to be doing a lot of writing today. We're just going to spot the rhyming words in these poems and write them down. And we're going to talk a little bit about the poems. And then after this, you're going to try and write your own poems about the moon in your books. So here is the first poem. It's called Sun and Moon by Charlotte Druitt Cole. The moon shines clear as silver. The sun shines bright like gold. And both are very lovely and very, very old. So did you spot the two rhyming words in that first bit of the poem? So I've got them here as gold and old. And did you see the way she describes the moon like silver and the sun like gold? It's a funny way to talk about the moon and the sun. And she's comparing them to things she already knows. And she describes them. She uses some nice describing words. She describes them as lovely and she describes them as old. So the next part is, God hung them up as lanterns for all beneath the sky, and nobody could blow them out, for they are up too high. So did you spot the next two rhyming words in that bit? We've got them here as sky and high. So we've got gold and old and sky and high. So those are the rhyming words in our first poem. And in that second part, she describes the sun and the moon as lanterns. So why do you think she describes them as lanterns? So think about lanterns. They light up, don't they? They give out light. So she could be comparing the sun and the moon that give out light like lanterns that give out light. And she says nobody can blow them out. That's silly, isn't it? How could you blow out the sun and the moon? For they are up too high. So that's the first poem today. And I wonder if you can think of things that you could compare the sun and the moon to. Think about how they look and think of what you could compare them to. So I'm going to read the next poem to you now. And we're going to spot the other rhyming words in this poem. So this one's called The Sun and the Moon. We don't know who it's by. That happens sometimes. The sun is shining in the sky, but the moon gives a sigh. Sky and sigh. He can't light up the day, for the sun is in the way. What rhyming words have we got there? So we've got sky and sigh, and then we've got day and way. So in this poem, she talks like the moon is sad because he can't light up the day because the sun's already there. It's funny, isn't it? It's almost like she's talking about the sun and the moon as if they're people, like they know what they're doing. And the next bit says, but at night the moon shines bright and the sun is out of sight. Oh, we've got another two rhyming words there. Bright and sight. I'm going to be making a note of all these rhyming words, writing them down. He was sleeping in his bed and wasn't angry to be said. Another two rhyming words there. Bed and said. So in that bit of the poem, she's definitely talking as if the moon is as a boy or a man. He was sleeping in his bed. That's funny, isn't it? Did you ever think the moon had a bed? And the last bit says that the moon is shining bright in the black and gloomy night. So there's some good describing words there, isn't there? shining bright in the black and gloomy night. Oh, what does gloomy mean? That's a good describing word, isn't it? I think it means when everything is all dark and a little bit spooky, a little bit gloomy. I wonder if you could think of some really good describing words to go in your poems. So I'm going to read the last poem now. This is just a short one. And again, listen out for the describing words and listen out for the rhyming words. This one's called The Moon by Lillian M. Fisher. The moon has no light of its own. It's cold and dark and dead as stone. Oh, that's a little bit sad, the start of that poem, isn't it? And we've got 2 rhyming words already. Did you hear them? Own and stone. But it catches light from the burning sun and shows itself when each day is done. So did you spot the last 2 rhyming words there? So the last 2 rhyming words were sun and done. So on your boards now or on your pen and paper, you should have lots and lots of rhyming words. And these rhyming words will help you when you come to write your own poems. So keep them safe just until you've written your poem. And think about how you would like to talk about the sun and the moon, and think about if there's any really good describing words that you could use in your poem, like burning sun, gloomy night. What other ones have we got? Lovely and old. Lots and lots of describing words in these poems. So now that we've read all these, you can have a think about your own poem. Now these poems, they're not very long, they're only 8 lines long. So have a go, and if 8 lines is too much, that's fine. Just try and write a poem that's maybe 4 lines or 6 lines and use some of your rhyming words and just give it a good try, and I'm sure it will be wonderful. Thank you for listening. See you later.